G'day and welcome to another episode of Kiwi Car Life. And here on the channel I've had the pleasure of driving the first generation Swift Sport, the ZC31S, and the third generation Swift Sport, the ZC33S. However, they both had their issues. The first gen is not a particularly well equipped or well made car. The interior is plastic fantastic. It is just a cheap little econo box that happens to have a slightly larger engine and firmer suspension when compared with the standard one. And then the third generation had a much nicer interior, all the features you could possibly need. I think they look fantastic on the outside, and while the 1.4 turbo has a decent amount of modification potential, as people are discovering today, it only revs to 6,000 RPM, which just sort of spoils the experience a bit. You wind it out, oh, I've already got to change gears, I'm only at 6,000 RPM. This, hopefully, will be the best of both worlds. The second generation, which has the last iteration of Suzuki's naturally aspirated 1.6 that revs all the way to 7,300 RPM, but because it's a bit newer than the first gen, it has a slightly nicer and more usable interior. And today, we're going to find out if that is the case. The engine is an M16A, a 1.6 litre 4-cylinder engine. Fortunately, compared with the first generation, which was really just an ordinary Suzuki Liana engine, with this one, they actually did a few modifications from the factory to make it a lot more powerful than the normal 1.6. This makes 100 kilowatt or 135 horsepower and 160 newton meters of torque, noticeably more than the first generation, even though it's still the same engine family. However, given 100 kilowatt is hardly an enormous amount of power, the owner has done a couple of modifications to try to squeeze a little bit more out of the 1.6. It's got an HKS intake, it has a catback exhaust system, and he's tuned the little 1.6 as well. So my guess would be this is probably making around 107, 108 kilowatts. But given these cars weigh just 1,000 kg and are paired up with a close ratio 6-speed manual transmission, while not objectively terribly powerful, the power to weight of these cars is really not half bad at all when you consider the fact that, say, a Golf GTI makes about 1.5 times the power as this, but also weighs about 1.5 times more, resulting in them having a similar power to weight. But of course, this has a zingy little 1.6 rather than a boring 2-litre turbo. And now, the interior. This is definitely a significant improvement over the first generation. I love the way the gauges look. They now have a little screen in the middle to show you fuel consumption and trip distance and the like. The tachometer goes all the way to 7,200 RPM. That is really cool to see. You've now got cruise control, keyless entry and push button start, auto lights, Bluetooth on the radio in the middle, fully automatic climate control, and just the general build quality in here. While it is still a wee bit plasticky, it is a noticeable improvement over the predecessor. The pedal box is placed perfectly for heel toe, nice light clutch, and the transmission actually feels really very good. And the seats are so cool. Unfortunately, they're not Recaro branded, they just say Sport on them, but they hold you in really well, but are still relatively comfortable. So far, so good. The engine's great, the interior is a significant improvement and actually has a few features that make living with a car like this a lot easier, and I love the way that this one looks on the outside with two little doors here. So now, let's take the Swift Sport for a drive. Driving the Suzuki Swift Sport. So far, so good. 7,200 RPM, 1.6, let's see. Oh, that's fantastic. That's brilliant. What an improvement. One of the really annoying things about the first generation was the gears were quite long, and so you were just struggling to get into the power band. With this, bang, 7,200 RPM into third. And the steering is like so fast. Look at how little steering angle you need to get through some of these corners. And it's so nimble. I can't believe I'm almost turning into this corner at what I think is like the right amount. And the car is, oh, this is easy peasy for me. 25 corner, 50 Ks an hour. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, it's so good. Like, just look at this. Turn it in, bang, around the corner without even breaking a sweat. It's the most just crazy nimble car I've ever driven. This is a significant improvement over the first gen. And it sounds good. The brakes are good too. You stand on them and it, oh yeah, it stops nicely. And then just the power, the RPM. Third, Fourth, oh, it's brilliant. It's just the perfect amount of power too. I felt like the first gen just needed a little bit more, you know. I mean, sure, it was light, but with the sort of longer gears of the 5-speed manual, and you know, given all the power was right up at 7,000 RPM, you really had to work for this. 4,000, 4.5, 5, it's going, man. It's really going. This is a significantly better tuned engine, and I can't believe how good the throttle is. He said he's had it tuned, and I wonder if maybe that's a factor in why the throttle is so good, but just third, fourth, look at that, just that's exactly what you want. No rev hang at all. There are some negatives. It is very loud in here. There is no sound deadening whatsoever. Everything's rattling and clattering away. Admittedly, a lot of the noise is coming from the back where he's removed all the carpets and sound deadening. I think one of these in stock condition would actually probably be pretty acceptable, but it is still a Suzuki, right? They're not known for making refined cars particularly. The steering isn't the most communicative, but again, like it kind of handles so well, but it sort of doesn't matter because you just turn and the car just goes around anyway. But other than that, this is the best Swift Sport I've driven. The new one is obviously nicer inside, and I think it looks better than this as well. But that 1.4, yeah, it's got the torque, but it just doesn't rev like this. You know, you put your foot down and got to change gears already. That's it. You've only got like 5.5, 6,000 RPM. Whereas this goes all the way to 7,300, which is just what you want. And it's so rewarding when you get there too. Look at that, 7,300. See, that's just better. Wow, I did not expect to love this car as much as I do. But now I see why people really enjoy these Swift Sports. If you're okay with the fact this is only ever going to be a 100 kilowatt car, then how it drives right out of the box is absolutely sensational. I have never driven a car with an e-throttle where I can get in and immediately and faultlessly heel toe it every single downshift. Every e-throttle car I've driven, it always takes a little bit of getting used to, but this, bang, down to second. It's so intuitive, it's glorious. This is probably the biggest surprise of the day, man. I thought this would just be like the first gen but with a slightly nicer interior, but no, this is significantly better. And really my only complaints is the steering feel is a little bit vague. Oh, that's amazing. It's so fast. And it's a little bit unrefined, but I think one of these with a full interior would probably solve that problem. And I think the steering feel that you would probably get used to it. I mean, I already am, to be honest. And then you were just left with a basically faultless car for the price. This thing is brilliant, I love it. If you want to see my other reviews of the first and third generation Swift Sport, then click on the links popping up right about now, and I will look forward to seeing you again next time.